back support wall, and wow. Yeah, why not? Well, here's what's the end of that wall. Look at the wooden parts near the axle. It's too dispersed. To me, it looks like there was a camp out here. Well, hey everybody, today is a make it up as I go day. I'm gonna do some exploring, maybe do some detecting at some point, but I'm exploring a piece of public property that has some established trails. I'm 5 minutes in and immediately I notice a cart path. So obviously while I'm out here, I'm looking for signs of the past colonial life, maybe a home site, but when we have a piece of property like this publicly accessible, it's always great to go in and explore. And you can see we're finding wall already, which obviously is not uncommon for New Hampshire, but makes it more the possibility of a chance that there's an old home site up in here, and that would be very cool to find. Nice and clean out here. Trails are groomed. Nice place. So as I make my way to the end of the property, this just looks like it was pasture for livestock. Back support wall, and wow. Yeah, the colonists weren't moving those. Those are some New Hampshire rocks. Yeah, why not? Give us a bird's eye view of what's down below. I can actually see wall from up here. Nice. There we go, spotting something off the designated trail. That is definitely an old dig out for materials. I like seeing stuff like this. Here's another thing for those of you out in the woods, in particular in the Northeast, looking around. You see that right there? That's a very soft shoulder, flat here, shoulders down again on the right side. That's definitely a cart path. Yeah, it looks like what they were doing out here was pulling a lot of materials out a long time ago. So I'm almost back where I parked. I'm gonna head to the vehicle and go on to the next location. Today I've just got myself a list of places to check out. Take a walk around, see what's out there, kind of make it up as we go today, so let's move. Okay, so second point of interest and objective is just a little itty-bitty piece of square of land that I haven't been in, and again, it's process of elimination. The more ground I visit, the better it builds the bigger picture, so I can even leave my pack here. Let's run in and see what it looks like. So I just jumped over the wall to access this cut trail, which is beautiful. a lot of times I avoid these established trails because I'm always out in the middle of nowhere and bushwhacking, but you know, from time to time I find I miss things because, well, I just don't take the time to check out these little bits and pieces. Concrete bridge, very old. Not to say they didn't reinforce an old, you know, stone bridge at some point in the past. Ah, there's a reason for the concrete bridge. Concrete foundation. Yeah, I never knew this was here. I mean, it's literally, you know, maybe 1,000 feet in from the road. I never would have saw it unless I walked back here, but still interesting. Gotta check out every rise and lift out here. Brings up an old wall that just terminates before it goes down. No, this portion's missing, and it heads off back in that direction. So it's cornered off towards the road that's out there. Well, here's what's the end of that wall. Just comes down and drops into the river. There is more wall up there. The reason why I really wanted to check out this particular spot is there is a strip of land, a bunch of charter squares, where the early settlers had landed. There could potentially be a site out here that, while it hasn't been documented, logged, or found, because it just looks like a little footprint in the ground. So that's why I'm out walking around to see what it looks like. So part of my way of thinking and approaching things, I'm up on the hill now. This is the end and corner that connects way down there across the river, is where we just were. So there is a massive chunk of wall missing in here. Could have been blown out from the hurricane of '38 with this river, or even some point in the 1900s. Rocks are taken out for other materials because it's completely accessible in that end. So I'm just trying to put all the walls together out here, and you come up on top of the hill. It's beautiful, and I see iron, rust. Well, we've got large bands, lounge chair, big bucket. Makes me wonder about out here. Old hub and rim. Oh wow, look at the step. That is cool. Oh yeah. Leaf springs. Look at the wooden parts near the axle. So keep in mind why this is kind of fascinating is I didn't just park on the road, walk in, and here it is. I had to go in a ways, cross the river, bushwhack off of the established trail, and then climb up onto this hill. And yeah, you can hear traffic, but it's within a mile away. Like I said, this is a small block of land, but there's a reason why all that is right here. See, even coming across a bunch of rocks like this in an area that when you look around there's no other rocks, that could potentially be a chimney stack. Obviously would have to swing a metal detector around it to see if there's any iron, but it is a standout feature for the things that I look for. So my thoughts on all this debris out here, to me it doesn't look like an isolated dump, and it's too far out. People who dump in the woods, no matter how far you go back, were lazy and it was slobbish. It was as closely accessible to where they needed to throw it from, and this is pretty far out. They would have had to come up through that ravine and up over, and it's too dispersed. To me it looks like there was a camp out here. That's exactly what it looks like. But again, without a metal detector, I can't swing around to find an iron bed. All I can do is walk around and speculate, and obviously the stone walls are from hundreds of years ago, and most camps we find from the early to mid 1900s were on old pieces of property that were already made easily accessible by the colonists. Alright, I'm going to take the long way out, head back to the vehicle, and we'll see what we see along the way, and then we'll head on to whatever's next. So this is our ravine, and why I say they would have had to have come up through this way, I walked all the way around the back. It's wetland over there, and then on that side, too steep a terrain. That's why this trail comes up where it does. Not to say that this might not have looked better a long time ago. And yes, this is a wooden bridge, modern. The one we crossed earlier, the concrete one, does not connect where we started to where all the iron stuff was. Yeah. Not very good out here once you leave where we just were. Well, that was interesting. I'm almost certain that there should be an early settlers site out there. We're talking first party sent here to survey and expedite this land. But a lot of these early settlers didn't even dig cellar holes. It would just be a footprint out there. Either way, very cool. I'm glad I came through here. Glad I saw walls, some flat area, shifted ground, and other oddities. Alright, let's roll. Well, I ended up back at home. The third place I went to check, there was no accessibility for me to park to go in and hike. So I'm going to have to find a different approach for that particular piece of land. In the meantime, between that and now, I was looking over, as you know, I've showed you guys in the past that I keep slick coins, old coppers, in my pocket. Some of these have been in there for like 3 years. Well, this one particular coin I dug 2 months ago. I cleaned it, put it in my pocket, because it was slick. Now this coin is a bit thicker than the others. Well, looking at it now from being in my pocket, it's showing detail. It's a Liberty Cap large cent. They made these 1793 to 1796. The detail that's popping out on this is something that would not come along by just cleaning the coin. For whatever reason, when you have copper cleaning copper, it brings out even the most minute detail, if there's any left, which is exceptional. So that's pretty awesome. That's a rare coin find, and I just love having it with me all the time. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed today. We closed in a bit more on the micro tuning of old land around here and got to see parts we had not seen before, which will lead to finding old sites to metal detect. We'll see you again very soon. Until next time, enjoy your Not Thursday.
you